Yay, happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm so glad you guys are here with us. Welcome to our Wellness Connection. I'm Dr. Brinetta, your favorite wellness coach, and we're here. This is our second Thursday of the month Wellness Connection meeting, and we're so excited. And if you'd like to join us here on Zoom, you can feel free to do that. Just find the link right there on my story or right on my page, and you can come right on into Zoom. We kind of have a little after chat on Zoom. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you are most welcome. Just click on in. And today we are talking about making healthy choices. Okay, so, all of those questions about reading labels and picking the right things. Oh my goodness. Anybody else kind of feel like I do that there's just all this stuff out there and it's just hard to know what to eat? Like all of us kind of feel like we're on some sort of a diet, and it's either a diet or forget it. Like, I don't want to even think about it. I am so tired of thinking about food. So part of my goal in tonight's conversation is for us to just really kind of bring down the anxiety about what to eat. Like, how in the world do I know? And so I thought I'd just do kind of like a true false quiz to get us started tonight. Okay, so get ready. And I can see, there we go. All right. So get ready. So true or false? It's healthy. It's a healthy choice if the package says organic. All right, true or false? One is true. Put fingers up if you want to. One is true, two is false, or put it on your paper. So if it says it's organic, it's a healthy choice. What do you think? Anybody on my Zoom want to try to answer that? Not always. Thank you, Miss Devlin. Not always. So we're gonna say, anybody say true? Who says true? Anybody at all? Okay, great. So if you said not true, I don't know. Did I go live? I feel like I'm not live. Can you see me on live, Lurleen? I don't know.
You did go live.
I did go live. Okay, I'm glad. All right. So the answer is false. And thank you. Just because you see that nice, wonderful word on the front of the package, like it's organic, we should eat it, it's healthy. No. Okay, so don't be fooled. That is just a ploy to kind of, lure you in. And when should we trust if something is actually organic? When should we really believe that? Well, one, if you grew it yourself. But two, if you really trust the source. So a couple of places that I really honestly trust. I really trust it when I'm at Sprouts. I really trust it when I'm at Clark's. I really trust it when I'm at Trader Joe's. Those are my three go-to. Oh, and Whole Foods. If they say it's organic, I pretty much believe that. But other places, maybe not so much. I'm pretty guaranteed if I'm at a farmer's market, it's organic. It's been grown without the pesticides. What does that mean? It means that it was grown in a healthy ground, grown to vine ripe, and it's not a mixed seed. It's not a GMO. It's just what it is. And it has not been doused with all sorts of pesticides and chemicals and other things like that. That's what they tend to mean when they say organic. Yes, somebody had a question? Okay. So, but just because they say it's organic does not mean
standing here
necessarily it's a healthy choice. Okay. All right. So now, number two, true or false? It is definitely a healthy choice if it says it's vegan. True or false? Come on, you guys. Those of you that are on Zoom, put something in the chat if you know how to do it, or put a finger up. Hey, Miss Pam, I'm glad to see you tonight. Yay. Somebody, what do you think? It's vegan. It's healthy. Yes? Okay. No, 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 no. And if you're on my live on Facebook, just put it in the chat there. So the truth is no. Okay, listen, you guys. Fried, if it's no matter what, if it's fried in vegetable oil, it's still fried. That is not a healthy food. Okay. If it's a hot dog, I don't care what it's made out of. And to be honest, most of y'all don't know what it's made of. So just think about that. But it's not healthy. No, just because it says vegan does not mean it's healthy. All right. Okay. So hopefully you got a couple points. All right. It is a healthy choice. It's healthier for you to buy frozen vegetables. True or false? Veggies that are frozen. It's a healthier choice, or it is also a healthy choice. I wasn't sure how to ask my question there. Is frozen healthy or not? And I'm not talking about, frozen pizza. I'm talking about, frozen vegetables, frozen corn, frozen whatever. Okay, who's got it? Let me look at my chat here. Let me see. Somebody said, I don't know. I'm not so sure. All right. So is frozen fruit, frozen vegetables, is that a healthy choice? And you know what? Most of the time it is. When a fruit or a vegetable has been frozen, it's usually frozen at its peak of ripeness. It's frozen at a good time. And yes, frozen vegetables, fresh vegetables, whichever one you like, you can pretty much find that. And of course, hey, if it says organic, right? But don't shy away from frozen just because it's frozen. All right. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about reading labels. But for those of you that are like me and you're not sure when you're going to eat it, frozen can save you a lot of money, and frozen is still good. So what are some really great frozen things I like frozen strawberries that you can just like toss them into a shake that you're making, your frozen cauliflower, frozen, what's my other one? Zucchini and squash. Oh my goodness. Love, love, love. And my new frozen edamame. Okay. Yeah. I sound like a vegan, right? Okay. Yeah. Don't hate me. Don't judge me. Yes. Vegans unite. Okay. All right. So it is definitely healthy if it's expensive. Like if it costs $2 more than all the other brands, it is the one to buy. Yes. True or false? Up, down. What do you got? What you got? No, some people go out and they buy. Thank you, Miss Connie. Some people go out and they find these really expensive things. I am just always amazed at the stuff people can find to spend money on. And trust me, sweetie, if you just go to the farmer's market, you can get great deals. My health buddy and I, we were just at a wonderful a farmer's market. By the way, if you need to find a farmer's market on a regular basis, go to Kaiser on like Wednesdays. I think almost every Kaiser I've been to on a Wednesday, I was so glad. They have this amazing farmer's market. Now listen, stay away from the fried churros and things, but if you can duck and dodge those couple of pieces, there are salads and fruits and nuts and all sorts of stuff. So find a farmer's market that you can enjoy, and yes, go for it. But don't just buy something because it costs more. It's not necessarily healthy. All right, and here's my last one. This is the trick question. It's definitely healthy if it says healthy. It's got the word healthy right on the front. Thumbs up or thumbs down, you guys? Thumbs down. Pretty much, as a matter of fact, if it says the word healthy on it, oh my God, just run. Because 9 times out of 10, they have just put that on the front of the bag to get you. All right. So don't believe them. Okay. Wonderful. How many of you got 5 out of 5? Anybody? Anybody got them all right? Woo, good job. Then you are well on your way to really making some good, healthy choices. And tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about reading labels. So I actually did, a little research. I no worries. I took it, I took one for the team tonight. Let me see if I can find my healthy label. I'm going to share my screen. I think that's what I want to do. Thomas. Yes. All right. So here we go. And participation, you guys can see. Okay, so can you see my screen? Somebody thumbs up for me if you can see my screen. All right. So there's so many things to look for when you're reading a label. I had a wonderful label up here, and I guess my label went away. Yikes. But I want you to think about it. Now, they put the labels. Oh, here we go. All right. So anybody else love Raisin Bran and Fig Newtons? So love. I don't eat those things, but I really miss them at times. So one of the things that we do want to say, first of all, is when you're looking for healthy choices, when you're looking for healthy foods, and you really want to embrace like a healthy mindset, can we just start by saying, please don't shop when you're hungry. Just, if you are super duper hungry, that's not the time to venture into reading labels, okay? Because you're hungry. Who could think when they're hungry, okay? So don't do it. But one of the things I want to say, what do you think is the first thing you should look at when you're picking a food and trying to decide if it's a healthy choice? What's the first thing? Anybody want to put something in the chat? What's that first thing you want to look for? Or anybody want to unmute? What do you want to look for when you're reading a label? Nobody? Okay. Or let me check my chat. Let me see. Somebody said something. So you definitely want to, first thing, number one thing to look for, start with the ingredients. Start with the ingredients. So good job. Start with the ingredients. I'm going to just tell you, if there's 25 ingredients in this thing, whatever it is, it's not going to help you. Just lay it on the side. Just quietly put it back on the shelf. Okay. Most of the time, ingredients are listed on the package, if they're doing it right, by what's the most or the greatest ingredient. So the first ingredient is what's the most, and then it's listed in order of size in the package. Not in the package, but in the what am I trying to say, Lurleen? Help me out. So if it's mostly made of water,
the label.
Yeah, in the label, if it's mostly made of water, then the first ingredient is going to be water. And then based on the amounts of the various ingredients, they're listed according to their amounts. If you get past the third ingredient and you can't say it, it's not a real food, just put it down. Okay. All right, so you want to read the ingredients because you want to find out what's in this thing. I mean, oh my goodness, what's in it? The next most important thing to read on a label is what? What would you say? Anybody? Oh yeah, that's true. Most foods are processed, don't taste the same. It's true. All right, the next thing you want to read is the serving size. So when I used to pick up a label years ago, the only thing I wanted to know was how many calories is in it. And so I kind of had this like maximum calorie limit, I guess, in my mind. And so if it was 200 calories or less, I'm like, this has got to be a great food. Let's eat this. All right, but how many of you ever done that only to figure out later that it was 200 calories, but there were 5 servings in there? Anybody ever pick up a bag of Lay's potato chips, which you guys, I'm celebrating. It's over a year. I have not had a chip. Oh my gosh, that's so big. Celebrate with me, you guys. You have no clue how Lay's potato chips have haunted my life. Okay. But I remember the day I was all excited. Oh my gosh, it's only 180 calories. And I just dove into that bag. And then somehow, right as I was like finishing the last of the crumbs, I happened to turn it over and look at it. And then I realized, to my horror and to my shame, that there were 5, not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 5 servings of chips. Oh my God, whose idea was that in that bag? And unfortunately, I'd already eaten 1,000 calories. So, ladies and gentlemen, read the ingredients. And then the next most important thing, don't even worry about the calories. Find out what is a serving and how many servings are in there. Now, here's one of the keys to my weight loss and weight maintenance plan is I have started to do servings. So when I bought the Raisin Bran, I brought it home, and you will notice you get 1 cup of cereal in this. I hope you can see it. It's small, I know. I should have done better. But you can probably open this up on your screen where you're watching. There's about 19 servings in this box of cereal. Anybody else love cereal? I so love cereal. Oh my God. I love cereal. I miss cereal. I keep trying to replace cereal in my life. I can't quite do it yet. So I have to have a cereal cheat day, and I'll talk about that later. And so one of the keys to really being able to manage this is start to read what is a serving and how many are in that container that you're holding. All right. Once you know that, then the next thing you can look at is, now we're going to look at the actual items on the rest of the items. You can look at that. And so I tell people all the time, it's okay to look at the calories. I think the calories are not your biggest issue. And I know I'm scrolling. So I think my next thing, here's did I look up my corn chip? So here's my corn chip. Here's my corn chip label, you guys. And why did I pick corn chips? Even though you can't see here, corn chips, the ingredients in corn chips are corn, and salt, ground corn and salt. I mean, that's what we want. We want to choose a food that's got like 3 ingredients. 3 to 5 ingredients. Okay. Because by the time you get past ingredient number 3, it's probably something you don't want to have. Okay. What does fortified mean? Fortified means that they took the time to add some extra nutrients. So it might be vitamin D fortified. You might get a little extra vitamin C, depending on what you're getting. Now you can buy your orange juice with some extra calcium in it. And I think all of those things are wonderful, but you want to read that label and you want to know what are those ingredients. But one of the things I laughed at this, look at my favorite corn chips here. These are the scoops, the big ones, right? The Frito-Lay, the big ones. How much is my serving? Oh my God, for a serving of 10 chips. Now, who do you know is going to ever sit down and eat 10 chips? However, if I wanted to really guide my life and say, you know what, I've got 160-ish calories to spend, let me put 10 chips in a bag, in baggies. So if I were going to manage this now in my life, I bring my bag home. I get my buddy on the phone where she can see me. And I put these 10 Fritos in a little zippy where we count together like broccoli, right? We count together. Why? Because she's going to remind me, you just slipped one of those in your mouth, girl. I'm counting. because this is a dangerous activity. But the first thing you want to do is find out what is a serving. And you guys, do you know that you can put 10 of those scoops in your hand? About 10 in your hand. Your hand is actually a great measure for a serving size. Like if I put some nuts in my hand, in the palm of my hand, that's about a serving. Anybody knows what a regular serving of nuts normally is? What's a usual serving of nuts? Anybody know? She said,
Like
great nuts, cheat days don't
a
count.
half cup?
Say again.
A half cup?
Not a half, it's 1/4. 1/4. So if you're eating a half a cup at a time, that's twice the serving. So it's important at 1/4 cup of nuts is a serving. You can put that right in the palm of your hand. How would you know that? Because you need to get that 1/4 cup and look at it. Play around with a serving size so you can see it in your hand and then you can guesstimate. But until you can guesstimate, you guys, you got to actually get that cup, that 1/4 cup. I have measuring cups in almost every drawer in my kitchen. Like I don't want to have to look for it, because if I have to look for it, like it's over. I'm gonna eat it before it gets measured. Now people say, I don't want to measure. I don't want to have to do all that. Listen, you want to do it until you know it. So I'm pretty familiar now because I've done a cup of cereal, a half a cup of almond milk, 1/4 a cup of nuts. I know I can eye those now. I know what that looks like, and I've practiced that. So I want to welcome that. But here you go. You're going to look at these calories. This is not the best label on the planet. You're going to look at the total fat. Why do you want to look at the total fat? Okay. The fat that's in your food, if fat is the largest thing in the food, trust me. Okay. There are a couple of good fats like avocados, coconut, right? Coconut oil, and they say an olive oil. Those are good fats, right? And you can find a list. Like I just did a little bit of research, just a tiny bit. You can find lists for all these things. So take a moment. Maybe we'll talk through some of those soon, but take a moment and look at them. The next biggest thing for me, I gotta see how much salt is in there. I have to, all right? So many of us are salt sensitive, and so many of my friends are dealing with high blood pressure. 9 times out of 10, it's because you're eating more sodium than you realize. So when I was, really struggling with my high blood pressure, there were so many things I was eating, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize. You guys, what's the highest salted food on the planet? Who wins the prize in terms of the highest salted food? Anybody know? Let me check my chat. If you're on Facebook, just type it in. Type it in. What do you think? Anybody want to guess? All right. Well, guess what, you guys? A little salt for test. Yes. You know what? It's cheese. Cheese. More sodium in cheese than any other food. And you guys, cheese used to be my favorite food. And when my doctor was saying, you really got to check your diet, at that time I did a lot of dairy. I love yogurt and cheese of every kind of cottage, any kind of cheese you want to talk about. I loved it. Well, guess what? A lot of cheese. And I was eating cheese at least twice a day for lunch and dinner. And cheese was kind of my snack. Those string cheese? Oh my goodness, I would eat that. And don't pull out the pepper jack. Okay, we're done. But it's got a lot of salt. You need to check the salt. And then the last, I pulled this up for sodium. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Can you see my sodium screen, or do I need to share again? Who can see my know your numbers? All right, so this says the guideline is less than 2,300 milligrams per day. Less than, like they don't want you to get there. And that equals to about 1 teaspoon of table salt. And if you will read your labels, you'll find that foods have so much sodium, especially which ones? Processed foods. So anything that's been processed, what are those things? If you are buying any kind of lunch meat, just processed, any kind of canned, those, just check the label, the canned stuff. Oh my gosh, because canned stuff comes in second. So like soups in a can, oh my gosh, look, just take the salt shaker instead. Don't eat the soup. Did you know that all of those condiments like ketchup and barbecue sauce and salad dressing, they all have salt in them. And by the time you have that burger, that Big Mac, that big burger from, where is it?
In-N-Out burger.
Oh, yes. By the time you put all, and then you put all the condiments, the tomato, lettuce, lettuce and tomatoes, they're your friend. But by the time you put the cheese and all those slathering stuff and everything, man, when I tell you you've blown this 23 milligram thing out of the water, you've eaten at least 2/3 of your sodium for the day. That doesn't count the salt that's on your French fries, and it doesn't count whatever else you've eaten that day. So it's very easy to overdo your salt. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about on here, let's talk just a little bit about those 3 ingredients. What do you want to look for when you're reading a label? Can you see my choose whole grains? Can you see that? Is that what you're looking at? Great. So you really want your food to be 3 to 5 ingredients when you read the label, 3 to 5 ingredients. The less processed, the better. And you want to really kind of base around some whole grains. You want to look for whole foods in your food. So, and I'm talking about this, and there's one on here that Arlene cannot even, like, she can't be around it and she's gonna eat it. But we're talking about things like barley and brown rice and buckwheat and bulgur, which is cracked wheat, millet, oatmeal, my favorite, popcorn is my buddy's favorite, and then whole wheat bread, pasta, or crackers. And if there's popcorn in the room, Arlene So is gonna eat it. Like, it's getting it. All right. So why? Because these are the foods when they are whole. Whole means they haven't been stripped down. They haven't been colored, broken up, splitting up. They just, oatmeal is oatmeal, you guys. When it's oats, it's oats. And you can trust that that's everything that came in the grain. And corn is one of those things. I've heard people say, don't eat corn, for goodness sake. Come on, you guys, corn is a good thing. I know it comes through, but that's because it's an insoluble fiber that literally scrapes the intestines as it's coming through and helps to keep everything flowing. It's a happy food, and you should have some corn. All right, just not all that butter. Okay, and salt, and stop it with the salt pork. Knock it out. And that bacon, I know y'all put that bacon in there. I see you. Hey, knock it off. Just try to enjoy corn. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. I want to ask, are there any questions? Is anybody, we're right around our 30-minute mark. So I want to wrap up by saying, let me wrap up by saying that when you're looking for a healthy food, don't be misled by, flashy labels. What are the things you should try to eat? You should try to go to the veggie section and go at it. Every vegetable that you can find. And I could say more about that, but that's a good place to start, right? try frozen fruits and vegetables. If you're like me and your schedule isn't the same every single day, frozen fruits and vegetables are a good way to go. Read your label. Don't trust all that stuff on the front. Go back and read the label. We're looking for three to 5 ingredients. If it's got more than that, just know it's been so processed that honestly, your body probably really doesn't know what to do with it. Okay. Make sure you check the serving size, because I don't care how good a food looks. You know, I found this really great food, you guys, but I can only have 2. Like, who's gonna just eat 2? Or who's gonna eat 10 chips? You know, not gonna happen. And so if you use those guys, and then don't do this when you're hungry. Don't do this when you're hungry. Just don't even shop when you're hungry. Wait until after dinner and then go shop. Then think. And first, before you do that, try to think through what you want to eat. Now, I know that might sound very restrictive. I know it may sound not so fun, but here's what I'll end with. I recommend the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. 80-20. What does that mean? That means you know pretty well what you should eat. And if you would just eat what you know is right 80% of the time, just 80%. You know, in my world as a teacher, 80% really is mastery. If you aim for 80% of the time, then that means that, you know, the 20% when you eat something that's, you know, you already know, you may not, you know, consider healthy, you have some balance there. So if you've eaten well, you know, then okay, now you can have that little something that's off that list. And so I tell people, split your meals up. No, that doesn't mean that, you know, you get a whole day to just eat whatever you want. If you're on vacation once a year or twice a year, and while you're on vacation, you say, I'm not going to think about it. I agree with that. You need some deep downtime where you get to eat whatever you like. And we'll talk about those things. But if you would eat what you know, if you eat the healthy stuff that you already know you should eat, and keep those things up that you know you shouldn't have off your plate 80% of the time, then the other 20, guess what? That 80% will outweigh and tip that scale in your favor. Okay. All right. Well, this has been our wellness connection for this week. I hope you was this helpful, you guys? Did anybody get anything out of this? I am so excited. Now it's our time to check in on our buddies and our 21-day challenge. And let me just say, for those of you that are on Facebook, if you would like to join us on Zoom, you're always welcome. I'm happy to do it. We will end the live session so that our Zoomers get to have this convo about their buddies. And our buddy the idea of a buddy is to find someone else, not someone you've twisted their arm, but someone else who is health-minded and really wants to focus on wellness that you can partner with, and you guys will help each other, support each other. My wellness buddy is online with us tonight. I'm super excited. We really keep each other going. And I'm proud of her because she's lost 40 pounds, you guys, in the last 2 months. She's lost 40 pounds. We got one of those come to Jesus meetings. And I said, come on, girl, get it in gear. And I have lost 8 pounds over the last 2 months. And I've been doing my weight training. So we keep each other in check. I want you to think about getting a wellness buddy. And you might say to me, Dr. Brinetta, I don't know any healthy people. Okay, no problem. Or you might live with the food devil, you know, that food devil. That's okay. Join us on our Zoom twice a month on the 2nd and the 4th Thursday, and we'll try to be your health buddy. We'll be your wellness buddy. We'll help you think through some things. Our second goal has been to just own up to that one thing that we know we need to do. And we've said to ourselves, we're going to pick 21 days. You know, you can start a new habit in 21 days. And so we picked that thing. Many of us are going to check in tonight about what we're doing in 21 days. And we shared that goal with our wellness buddy, and we're keeping each other in check. Arlene, I see your hand. You want to say something?
Yes. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. Number one is I find that our best conversation happens after the Facebook Live comes to an end. So, it's better to have, and the reason why we do that is because at that point, people are able to actually communicate and talk about the various things that they want to talk about. It doesn't have to be restrictive to the topic for the evening. And so I find that probably our most candid, our most entertaining time is on the Zoom. So
Right.
that's number one. Number two is I'm so glad that you talked about this topic, is because I think recently we were talking, you and I was talking about how I had seen a television show, and it was about someone who was from the South, and they were going around selling and promoting their vegan food. And the vegan food was chicken nuggets, dipped in all kind of stuff. It was vegan hot dogs. It was vegan burgers and vegan tacos and vegan quesadillas, all under the mindset that this is healthy. And I remember we were talking and we were like, just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. We have a lot of slogans, and that's one of them. Just
Yes.
because it says it's healthy doesn't mean it's healthy. Just because it says whole grain doesn't mean it's a whole grain, because that whole grain has been processed.
Yes.
Just because it says, organic. And I laugh because every time we talk about that, you're like, oh, and it's organic too. And I'm like, sister, I don't know if that's actually organic. Have we checked the source? So, I'm glad you're having this conversation, because even there was something that I recently came into the knowledge of. I remember when, I just started, kind of like the 3 ingredient rule, that whole concept, or ingredients that without all the extra,
Yes.
added stuff. I made my bread for the first time, and it wasn't anything difficult. It was so easy to make bread from flour, egg, milk, yeast, and I think sometimes we assume that it's going to be so much, and it was good.
It was good.
And I remember telling you, oh, this is what I made, because again, when you think about healthy, even though bread, of course, is still a carb, it still has calories, it still has fat, exactly what is in that bread. There is no doubt, what's in that bread. And I remember when I came to you and you were like, girl, and me and my mom, this is what you said to me. Me and my mom, we used to churn our own butter. And I was like, well, let me figure out how to churn my butter. And all I did was take some heavy whipping cream, shake it in a mason jar for a little while. And not only did I have butter, but I had buttermilk. So, but the reason why I'm saying that is because I think in our minds, yes, convenience is grand, but if we're really trying to be healthy, sometimes we do have to say, what's the best way to have this item that I want, and to know exactly what's in that ingredient, like you said, going to farmers markets, and they have some of the best vegetables and fruits. Even I remember we were just, and I know I'm taking a little while, so I promise I'll finish. But when I went over your house and you let me have the tomato from the Tower Garden, and I was like, or what? No, better yet, it was the bell pepper, right? Yeah. Wasn't it the bell pepper?
Yes.
And it was the jalapeno too. And I literally just literally ate it off of the tower, and that's organic. Now, I say all that. I say all that to say sometimes, with our mindset of health, again, just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's healthy. Just because it says whole grains doesn't mean it's actually whole grains. You know, sometimes it does require a little bit of work, but once you realize this is better for me, this is better for my family, my body responds differently to me making my own bread versus me, you know, all the people with gluten issues and all that stuff, you
Right.
know. So anyway, but you know, I thank you for having this conversation, and you know, this is excellent. So thank you. I can go on, but I probably should not.
If you have a 3-year-old at
join
home, guys, so
join us join us on
join us on the
on
next
Zoom.
meeting on the fourth
On Zoom.
Thursday. Those of you that are on Facebook Live, the fourth Thursday, we meet the second and the fourth Thursday at 6 o'clock. And we're going to continue this conversation about really choosing healthy foods, building a framework. I know that's a big word. It's like people say, I don't want to build anything, stop it. But having a guideline in mind when you're beginning to say, what's healthy for me? What's a good choice? You're looking at a couple things, you say, which one is a better choice for me and why? Okay. Because our goal is to move towards that healthy place. So that's our goal. Thank you for joining me live, you guys. I'm going to end the live streaming, but those of you that are on Zoom, we can stay on, and I'd love for you to check in about your buddies and about your progress. And the rest of you, those of you on Facebook Live, if you'd love to join the Zoom link is there. And also, if you've got questions, just put them in the chat. I'll go back and read them and do my best to respond. All right. So to the Facebook family, we say good night. All right. So I'm